If you're an Absolver player, you know about Faejin. But did you know that Faejin was going to be radically different than it is today? When Downfall released, I think you unlocked kind of an incomplete product. Is it cool? Absolutely. But it's just missing something. I mean, it was going to be the class that let veterans improve their neutral play and deck building philosophies. It was meant to be fluid and difficult in ways that other styles weren't, while being just as, if not more, rewarding. And lucky enough, some of us got to see what that would look like in beta. They sent us an email detailing test server availability, how we could actually access the beta branch, as well as details about the upcoming style and changes to powers they wanted to make. Now in beta, the style itself was fundamentally different. I think that there's some stuff that got cut out that shouldn't have, and some stuff that, well, frankly, definitely should have and did get cut out. Thank fucking God. I hope you'll see what I'm talking about, and let's get into it. Let's talk about parries. You love them, you hate them. You're either the kind of person that'll know which direction to parry, or you'll just flick the direction and hope the jab comes out fast enough to interrupt. Parries in Downfall were totally different from their beta counterpart. In Downfall, the rules are simple. While in front stance, you can parry any non-low attack by choosing left or right. Your character then throws a parry out, and then a counter jab. All in all, this takes 17 frames to happen. That's reasonable. That's reactable. When you land a parry, you know you can continue your combo. When you get parried, you know it's not your turn anymore, right? In the beta, you fucking threw out parries like you owned the place. It didn't matter when you did it because they came out on frame 11. You could literally tickle your opponent to death or pepper in what looked like a free Calbot, and it was impossible to react to. And I do mean it was impossible to react to, even on the person doing the parrying. Gold linking out of it was so hard to do because you're both standing there going, wait, that worked? And you miss your gold link like an idiot. Your brain had a split second to push a button or continue blocking. It was wild. Remember how I was talking about tickling your opponent to death? Yeah, you could have done that. You could have used parries to break hyper armor. It wasted a lot of stamina. It was super inadvisable, but it was something that worked. I think had we kept the 11 frame slaps, Faejin would be much more of a joke than it is today, for sure. Everyone loves the Faejin stopper. It's the hallmark of the class. It's what gives us the tools necessary to build decks that don't otherwise work with other styles. It's an offensive boon. It's what makes Faejin's mix game so scary. It does a whopping 75 guard damage on impact. It's step cancelable, and that leads to some very interesting deck building. So what was different in the beta for it?
What? What the fuck?
That's right, folks. This was a guard break. This was a 16-frame guard break built into the Faejin class. If you were cult, guess what? Faejin didn't have to do any deck building to negate you. They just had to be in front stance. Stat-wise, everything else was identical. The guard damage, the step-canceling properties. We just didn't want to have a class that deleted another class while it sat in front stance. That wasn't fun. That wasn't cool. So we said, get rid of that shit. The low parry is easily one of the most frustrating elements of the class, mostly for the reasons that 1, there's no safety if you whiff it like there is with high parries, and 2, it suffers from the parry buffering issue that plagues Forsaken. Sometimes your move is buffered, sometimes it isn't. This wasn't exactly a problem for beta Faejin, because low parry had a hitbox. You heard me correctly, it used to have a hitbox. Interestingly enough, you are more likely to hit your opponent before their low attack got caught on your parry than if you were to actually parry it. It seems like the parry frames came after the hitbox, so the timing was tight. So, much like the high parries, you had a free jab at close range, in neutral. Faejin was shaping up to be an absolute slapfest in the spammiest, worst way. I mean, look at this shit. Look at this crime! Look what? Now, I can't remember for sure, but I think the general consensus was, don't give this a hitbox, for the love of God, don't!
What's up, buddy? You want some? You want to fight? Yeah, let's fucking fight. You want to fight? Spiral palm? No. Fucking jabbed, boy.
Now get ready, because I'm about to go in on this one. Backstance was another hallmark of Faejin's absolute coolness. The side avoids and the Faejin backslip. The primary difference between current Faejin and beta Faejin was a fundamental mechanic we all know and love: gold linking. Faejin had the remarkable ability to gold link into and out of back avoids. If you've played Faejin for any stretch of time, you know that it feels good to land a slip into a counter. It felt even better in the beta. It felt correct. In the current build, you can't use your back stance defensives at gold link timing. Meaning, you input a move, and then you input your defensive move, and what should happen is, at the gold link point of that move, the defensive comes out. But instead, the defensive doesn't come out, the gauge has to fill, you have to wait the recovery of all those frames, and then you can do your back avoid. Other classes literally don't have this problem. They can all use their defensive move as if it was a gold link, and Faejin can't. It's part of what makes it incomplete. Looking at the beta footage, Faejin was afforded what every class is afforded now. It made the style fluid, interesting, and it influenced deck building in a more nuanced way. Suddenly you began thinking of ways to build decks that didn't fit into the conventional mold or separation of, here's my offense and here's my defense. Faejin had both, and arguably, Faejin was the next logical iteration of Stagger, blurring the lines even further between offense and defense. You'd find yourself building decks that made use of the backstance gold link. It was a way to mechanically loop moves or create inorganic combos instead of relying on unlock tech resets or having to wait the full recovery of a back stance defensive to get back into front stance. It rewarded tight timing and clever deck building. A lot of what we got when Downfall released just wasn't there. Gone was the fluidity of slipping or side avoiding in back stance to counter, which actually made countering possible in the first place when you're in back stance. It meant that making the right decision rewarded you, instead of making the right decision and getting fucking slapped up for it. I mean, fine, you don't want to give me my fucking Faejin back stance gold link? I'll fucking unlock. It's fine, whatever, I don't care anymore. This is as advanced as it gets now, boys. Am I salty? Yes. But I'm not going to sit here and lament the death of what would have been the greatest Absolver style, in my opinion. I'm not. It's not worth it now. It's obvious that this class had some great and terrible things about it in beta. Insta-jab parries, not so good. Backstance gold links, very good. Slow clap had some really good ideas, and it showed. But some of these ideas didn't reach the end of the pipeline, for better or worse. My current theory is that gold linking was meant to be included in backstance. But much in the way Forsaken got bugged, Faejin probably caught a bug that no one could catch in time, so this is what we got. And it's a damn shame. But I think it's important to note that while there were some ugly things in this beta, there was still a lot of promise that no one really got to see. Now, I'm still sitting on some move footage that displays the differences between Downfall and beta Faejin moves. But I'm not going to include those here. If I end up doing a follow-up, I'll walk you through all that frame data and we'll talk about the changes. Otherwise, I'm Morklympious. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.